Most buyers feel the first step to buying a home is to peruse the internet, to look at listings and go out and find their dream home. But that will come later. That's the fun part. The first step is to know what's on your credit report. There are a lot of home buyers that feel that they don't want to face what's on their credit report because they know that they may not get approved right away. Most home buyers that I work with, they're not approved right away. However, it's a delay, not a denial. So they are delayed taking the time to actually clean up their credit first, because when you go in front of a loan officer, you do want to hear approved or pre-approved, but at the beginning of the process, before you find out what your purchasing power will be, the best thing to do is to sit down with a professional and have someone look at your credit report. Most people that I work with find that their credit reports aren't as bad as they think they are. Most things fall off after 7 years and 10 years, and it's no longer on the credit report. So it is something that, although it may feel like it's an intimidating process to face, however, it is an important process to face so that you can get to the next step and know your purchasing power. So I want to give you a few pointers on credit. What should I look for? What should my credit scores be? At the end of the day, your credit scores are determined by your actual usage of your credit. For example, if you can have student loans, a car payment, credit cards, all of that is usage. And when you decrease your usage, you increase your credit scores. I've also have been asked about collection items and charge-offs. So with my previous loan officer experience with collection items, I would suggest that if they're more than 6 months old, don't pay them off. Because if they're greater than 6 months old, if you pay them off, you start the process again on your credit report, and it will decrease your credit score instead of increasing your credit score. So when you pay off a collection item that's 6 months or newer, it actually will increase your credit scores. But if you wait until after the 6 month period, then it will decrease. Also, most times the lender won't even request that you pay off your collection items. If you have charge-offs, whether it is a repossession or it could be maybe an apartment late, that's just two examples. It is good to be able to face your charge-offs, because with your charge-offs, if it shows charged off on your credit report, most times lenders would want you to address those charge-offs. However, if you've had that charge-off on your credit report for more than 1 year, you never pay full price to pay it off. You call, negotiate, start with 25% and work your way up, because 9 times out of 10, that lender purchased that debt at a discount. So you don't want to pay full price for discounts, because we all like a sale, right? So at the end of the day, charge-offs are good to address. Now let's talk about student loans. With student loans, lenders look at it differently. You have several loan programs, and depending upon your loan program, your student loans will be handled differently. If you don't have a car payment before purchasing a home, please don't buy your car right now. Let's wait a little while because your car payment will count towards your debt to income ratio, which will hinder you from purchasing as much home. So basically, your sales price will be reduced based on that car payment. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how to calculate your debt to income ratio. I know people know the term DTI, debt to income ratio, but calculating it seems to be intimidating. I'm going to give you the formula. It's very, very, very simple. So I'm going to come back to that. But I wanted to talk to you about the car payment. If you do not have a car payment, if you can wait, please wait until after you purchase your home. If you have a car payment, it's okay. You would count that towards your debt to income ratio. Lastly, I'd like to talk to you about credit cards. With credit cards, you can actually manipulate your credit scores. Maybe I shouldn't use the word manipulation. You can actually, instead of manipulate, you can control what your scores will be. So basically, when you decide, I'm going to get a credit card, or if you already have credit cards, instead of charging up to the limit, please do not charge any more than 20% of the limit. 20% of your limit. You don't want to charge greater than that. Then you want to pay down to $5 every single month before your statement is due. When you charge above 20%, your credit scores start to decrease. When you charge up to 20%, your credit scores stay about the same. But when you pay down the next month, down to $5, your credit scores increase drastically. If you do this continually, you'll start seeing greater credit scores. I had several clients where they didn't have any credit. I had them open up 2 secured credit cards, $300 balances. They charged $60 per card. That's 20%, I'm sorry. And then they paid it down to $5 every single month. And I say $5 as opposed to 0, because when you pay it down to 0, even though you do get the increasing scores, it also appears that you have inactive credit. So it takes the activity away. You want to pay it down to $5 because you won't receive a bill on $5, nor will you receive interest on $5. So if you keep your balances down to $5 every month, you will have that increase in credit scores. Now, I said I was going to get back to debt to income ratio, and this will be the last thing that I speak about on this particular segment. With debt to income ratio, it is calculated by your gross monthly income divided by the amount that your mortgage payment will be, plus all of your monthly debt that's on your credit report. For example, let's say if your monthly payment on the new home will be $1,500. Then let's say your credit card debt and car payments, and if you have any debt, if it is $500, then you have $2,000. If you earn $5,000 monthly, then you divide the $2,000 by $5,000, and that percentage is your debt to income ratio. With FHA, the maximum debt to income ratio generally is 50%. Some lenders go up to 55, but 50% is a really good gauge. Conventionally, the debt to income ratio should not exceed 45%. USDA Rural Development generally is 45. And VA generally is around between 45 and 50. To increase your debt to income ratio limits, it's better to have more assets, because when you have more assets, it gives the lender the impression that you are able to handle more because you have more readily available in case you get into a bind or you lose your job or something goes wrong temporarily. So that's your debt to income ratio. The calculation is very, very, very simple, but it's very, very good to know, because with that debt to income ratio, once you face your credit, then you'll know, okay, I need to pay down these debts, or I need to increase my income. That definitely decreases your debt to income ratio when you increase your income. So just knowing your purchasing power, that's the first step in knowing your purchasing power, is to face your credit. If this video has been helpful to you, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.